All right, chat. I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer me honestly, okay? If I were to ask you what the biggest, most successful, most popular gacha is right now, what would you say it was? What is the most popular gacha game right now? The horse game? You mean Uma Musume? No, not Uma Musume. Not Genshin. Not Arknights, not Ether Gazer, not Nikke. I'll give you all more time to contemplate what it is. Dungeon Fighter? No, that's not even a gacha game. FIFA. What the fuck? Dude, what are some of you even saying? Flaccid Impact, there we go. If I made a game, it would definitely be the most popular game in the world, and it would be called Flaccid Impact. So, a little while ago, Hoyo announced this game based on an already existing intellectual property. And they announced it to be a turn-based RPG. And when it was announced to be turn-based, players all around the world, gamers all around the world that played Genshin and that played Honkai Impact thought to themselves, there's no way a turn-based game could be more popular than an action game. But you want to know how much their turn-based game made? In China alone, $154 million, disregarding PC. On mobile only, Honkai Star Rail made $154 fucking million in China. In its first month. That is crazy. Before we go any further, I just want to take a moment here to thank all of our incredible patrons. You guys allow me to continue to play games like this for a living, and I can never truly repay that kindness. Also, if you're interested, I stream over on Twitch every single weekend. You should totally come on over and join me. $154 million in China on mobile. Now, I want to add on, globally, Honkai Star Rail outside of China made $81 million. Again, only on mobile. That is $235 million on mobile. Now, if we're saying that only half the player base plays on mobile, that means Honkai Star Rail made anywhere from $400 to $500 million around the world in its first month. $500 million. It could have potentially made $500 million in its first month of release. And we haven't even gotten to the popular characters yet. We haven't even gotten to Kafka yet. So, Honkai, like, for reference here, Genshin Impact this month, you know how much Genshin made? In the month of May, 34 million. Comparatively, the 81 million in that Honkai Star Rail earned. Now, China has roughly similar earnings to global. For Genshin Impact, anyway. Not for Honkai Star Rail, evidently. But, so Honkai Star Rail, at 235 million, made 4 to 5 times what Genshin made. So, people around the world were thinking, there is no way Honkai Star Rail, an instanced, enclosed, segregated, turn-based RPG, could compete with something, the titan that is Genshin. They didn't think it was even going to compete with Honkai Impact, but here we go. Hoyo have proven that players will play anything that they push out as long as it's a quality game. Whether it's an open world action game, whether it's a turn-based, segregated, instanced game. I guarantee you, with the success of Honkai Star Rail, Zenless Zone Zero is going to have an opening potentially unlike anything else. Because when Genshin released, they had nothing really. They had no player support, no history of releasing good games. When Honkai Star Rail released, they did with Genshin. Now with Zenless Zone Zero around the corner, they're gonna have the goodwill and the trust of the Genshin player base and the Honkai Star Rail player base. They're gonna have potentially more players than any other gacha game in history. Now, I understand Genshin, people aren't spending in Genshin because they're waiting for Fontaine. Like, I completely understand that. And their recent banner was kind of shit. I understand that too. I understand Honkai Star Rail's earnings are definitely going to drop, but I also guarantee you they're going to raise again with 1.1 and 1.2. Specifically 1.2 with Kafka. Now Hoyo, yes, exactly, is going to dominate every single category of gaming. Open world action, instance turn-based. They're making a third-person shooter. Were you guys aware of that? They're also making another open-world co-op game like Genshin, but from a completely new original intellectual property. I covered that on my channel, I think like a month or two ago. A completely brand new open-world anime game. And they're hiring people that have extensive history in multiplayer and on consoles, with consoles. Hoyo they're gonna take over the gaming industry. It is unreal. And just like seeing them make 230 million on mobile alone is absolutely crazy. Because again, factoring in PC and that could be $500 million. That is abso-fucking-lutely insane. Potentially $500 million. Can you guys wrap your head around that? Can you guys wrap your head around the fact that not even Genshin is capable of making that money? And can you guys believe how much hate Honkai Star Rail actually got when it released because of its turn-based combat? That's crazy. Look at it now. It has taken over as the #1 gacha game around the world. Lots of players are waiting for Kafka? Yeah. He'll prove that a game with a good story will make good money regardless of the character design. I actually like the character designs in Honkai Star Rail, though. I do. Success just gives Western devs more ideas to copy rather than actually be creative. Yeah, exactly. Western devs are just going to continue to do what the Chinese devs do too. They just take what is successful.
How the lead should look, no?
Which
way? This way.
I thought that was an enemy. I was like, oh my god. The Western devs and Chinese devs are going to do what they've been doing, and that's just copy what is successful and popular, which is Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail.
As if I need money.
I mean, like, as much as I love Kudo and I think they are a fantastic company, like, Wuthering Waves, like, is very similar to Genshin. That's perfectly fine. Because Genshin was very similar to Breath of the Wild, which is perfectly fine. There are going to be turn-based games coming out, like Honkai Star Rail in the future as well. I guarantee you, more and more games are going to start popping out that are just like Star Rail.
We need him to show us the way.
Which is fine as long as they're high-quality games, because Wuthering Waves at least seemed like a fun, high-quality, or potentially high-quality game.